So let's get back to the introduction. It says, yet one of our basic problems is the development of a program or a process that would make this possible. The primary. What is the root word of primary?
Original.
Prime.
Prime. Yep.
That is the root word of primary. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what do that mean? It means this here, primary. First in time or order of development, primitive, original. It
Mm-hmm.
means number one.
Yep.
The primary purpose of this book is to clarify our goals and objectives.
Objectives.
The,
Mm-hmm.
the definition of clarify is to make clear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this book is written for, to clarify the goals and objectives, to build and train personnel capable of displaying and teaching the new concept to others, and the raising of our membership's educational, economical, political, and social awareness.
Yep.
Whereas the activities of our daily lives will urge us on and on towards the idea of the vision. So now we're talking about the vision.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let's ask ourselves, what is a vision?
Mm-hmm.
What is a vision? The definition of a vision is the ability to perceive something not actually visible, as through mental acuteness or keen foresight.
Mm-hmm.
So our leadership had a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that vision? A new concept of organization. And what is the new concept of organization? Growth and development.
Mm-hmm.
That's what their vision was. Growth and development. That is the vision. But there are
Yep.
methods. The objective is growth and development. The methods, there are, but we don't want to get the methods mixed up with the objective. The objective is growth and development, and there are methods on how we go about achieving growth and development. And that is through the six universal laws of existence, the six principles of organization, through education, economic, political, and social development, and all of the teachings, which are the laws and policies
Policy that governs us.
of the new concept.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's about. That's what it is. That is what it is about. Now it says, secondly, this book is an interpretation written with the specific intent of gaining the respect of our community.
Mm-hmm.
We want the community to respect us, not
Yep.
fear us, not look down upon us, none of that. We want them to respect us. When we step into a room or we step anywhere, we want people's in that room to say, man, there go men and women who has integrity and dignity that carries themselves in an organized manner.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want. That's what we are striving for. We're not striving for somebody to walk into a room and they see us and they start fearing us like, yeah, that's some gangster stuff. That ain't no gangster stuff.
Right.
Man, that's idiocy.
Mm-hmm.
It says, an interpretation based upon the display of these teachings in our daily lives. So, we want the teachings of growth and development, which are the laws and policies that governs this organization, to reflect in our daily lives, right?
Yep.
So that means everywhere we go, the laws and policies has to be with us.
Right.
Am I right or wrong?
Right.
They have to be with us everywhere we go. All right, Brother Blayden, how you feel?
Man, I'm feeling good there, brother. How you feeling?
Oh, we doing great, man. Thanks for chiming in with us, man. We on the bottom of page 5, so we're gonna keep going. So you could just uh,
I jump in where I
come
fit
in.
in.
Yeah. So we want these interpretations. So now let's ask ourselves, what is the definition of the word interpretation? Or first of all, what is the root word of interpretation?
To interpret.
To interpret. So if you interpreting something, what are you doing?
You are taking it from one place to the next as far as definition, context, and terms.
So meaning, you are explaining the meaning.
Yes, sir.
So you explaining the meaning. So here's what this is what they're saying. You making clear because you explaining it in a comprehensive dialogue.
Yep.
That's what it says in the common sense approach.
Yep.
We're gonna break things down in a comprehensive dialogue, right? So it says this book. Secondly, this book is an interpretation. Is explaining a meaning written with the specific intent of gaining the respect of the community. An interpretation based upon the display of these teachings in our daily life. This is not an attempt to deny society to judge us as they see us.
Yep.
So basically what the leadership is saying, okay, we're putting ourselves out there. We want y'all to judge us based upon our ABA, our actions, our behavior, and our attitudes.
Yeah.
That's what is being said. So now, what was placed, the omens of how we conduct ourselves was placed in our court. Then the leadership said this here. On the contrary, it is a statement to the effect that if we are to be perpetually judged by society as being a negative element of society, then we challenge society to aid us in instituting these teachings as necessary ingredients for a positive change. Okay, so if y'all see us as a negative element in the community, all right, help us institute this here.
Yep.
So the leadership is calling on the public to get involved with assisting us in our growth and development.
Yep.
Woo! And so now we got people talking about this shouldn't be discussed.
Yep.
When the leadership is basically saying, asking for the public to help us.
Yep.
So how is it that they calling on the public to help us, but then we have those amongst the rank and file saying, you shouldn't be discussing that.
Right.
Why are we discussing this here on Facebook? Why are we talking about this here? Because the leadership told us to.
Yep.
That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Now make it make sense to me.
To institute something, you got to get it established.
That's right. Now make it make sense to me. All the naysayers, make it make sense. So if you believe in the concept and ideology of organization and you say you believe in the blueprint, but then you got to believe wholeheartedly, man. You can't believe just, man, what you see it fits you.
Right.
You got to believe it, man, from all aspects, man, on what they saying.
TP.
You got to live it. Yes, sir.
In reference to what you just said about believing wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
It speaks about that same concept of ideology in the principle of understanding, where it tells us that we cannot trim the vision to fit our own personal views or ideas. We must trim our ideas to fit the vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the principle of understanding.
So that means, break that down.
Yeah. If we go into the blueprint, page 16, it talks about the laws and principles of existence, which would be the six. And it defines understanding as the ability to settle disputes and maintain order through a just and fair interpretation of the laws and principles. So if the principle of understanding tells us that we must trim our own personal ideas to fit the vision, that means we must be able to interpret the laws and principles of the vision in a correct manner and present them to society, where not only we can be judged by society to be righteous, but also our ABAs can affect the righteousness of our six laws and six principles.
Right.
Okay,
so therefore, that means we must work hand in hand with society as we grow and develop. because the goal is to grow and develop in society to show society that we are a righteous group of individuals.
So
Yeah.
then that goes back to exactly what was finna be read. It says, in all fairness, the right and capacity to make a positive change should be considered in the judgment of one human being by another. Isn't that what you just said?
Yes, sir.
So does that mean one hand wash the other?
Indeed.
Yep.
Okay then. Okay then.
So TP, because now this brings a question to mind, right? As I'm collecting my thoughts. And again, 1,000 pardons for being late. I just got off work, but I thank you for the invitation, and I'm glad I made it. Okay, the blueprint, which we view in this organization as a guide for us to carry our ABAs into society. For society is simultaneously a book for them to look and judge us, to say if we are actually living according to the teachings that's been given to us. So that would give society a right to say, okay, they're true members of growth and development, and these guys over here are imitating growth and development just by name alone.
Right.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to differentiate the one from the other
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
based upon what? Our ABA.
Our ABA,
Now, this
which is
brings
your personal pledge.
because see, my brain's ticking right now, so you got to forgive me. But now this also brings about an interesting thing, because the blueprint and the black and white makes it impossible for us to say that we're growth and development, we're living by these laws and principles and showing this in our ABAs, but our daily conversation is shooting, robbery, murder, homicide, criminal activity. Those two things would not be able to coexist and still be considered growth and development.
That's right.
Right.
So the blueprint allows society to be able to judge us according to that. Like, you may be doing this, but your words are saying this, or you may be saying this, but your actions are saying that. So the
Right.
blueprint exposes the hypocrite.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what the blueprint does is saying, okay, we want society to judge us. We want y'all to be able to understand what we are about too, so that way y'all will be able to see the hypocrite too.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what it's saying.
And that's where I was going with my thought. I'm glad you were able to get it to where I was trying to get it to. I appreciate that aid and assistance in that. Okay.
So now, you would like to add to that, Midnight?
Yeah, because it's see, we are a reflection of those who came before us. When we look in the mirror, we should see the leadership. We should see the foundation. But you have to be conscious. You know what I'm saying? You have to come to a level of consciousness. You have to understand what your foundation is. Because the literature, the black and white the blueprint says this. It says, before it gets to calling them leaders or the leadership, it says they developed a high level of growth and development.
That's right. It says, matter of fact, the exact word says, those who have instructed me in these teachings are persons who have evolved, which is an evolution, evolved to a very high level of growth and development. Herein they shall be known only as the leadership. Those who has evolved to a high level of growth and development is the leadership.
Yep.
That's how we are supposed to be judged.
Yep.
That's how we're supposed to be judged. That is what we're supposed to be striving for. That is also why it says this here, where it speaks on us. it says the primary purpose of this book is to clarify goals and objectives, to build and train personnel capable of displaying and teaching the new concepts to others, and the raising of our membership's education, economic, political, and social awareness. So do we understand the importance of teaching?
Yep.
That is the importance of us learning so that we can teach, so that we can raise the membership's level of education, economic, political, and social development and social awareness. That is what we are supposed to be doing, teaching. But how can you teach if you don't know what you're about?